Good morning. My name is Wade Thomason, and I am the Extension Small Grain and Corn Specialist for Virginia Tech. And I want to extend another additional invitation to thank you all for joining us for our virtual 2020 Small Grain Field Day. I had originally planned to talk about another topic, but the recent freeze and cold weather here in the early part of May have brought that to the forefront of many of our minds. And so what I would choose to focus on today is the scouting and diagnostics associated with how to assess freeze damage. It's important to begin with to understand the temperatures and the interaction of temperature with physiological stage of the small grain crop. So vegetative small grain is fairly resistant to cold temperatures, especially as it's hardened off over the winter or adjusted to cold temperatures. As we move into the spring though and move into reproductive phases, what we see relatively quickly is that the crop becomes much more sensitive to temperatures in the high 20s and even up to 30 degrees. If you look at this chart provided from Kansas State University in a classic publication, we'll have an opportunity to review what the effects of those particular growth stages are, or temperatures are on the crop at those growth stages. Many areas of the Commonwealth on the weekend of 9th and 10th experienced temperatures that were 26, 27, 28 degrees for several hours. And so their potential for damage was there. However, I have seen very little. If you were experiencing damage, it would look much like this in the photos that I have from previous years. I scouted yesterday, Thursday the 14th, because I'm filming this ahead of time. I scouted fields from up I-81, starting in Rockbridge County, stopped in Goochland, in Hanover, in King William, in Essex, and then on the northern neck. And I found very, very little damage associated with this freeze event. What I did find, though, is some damage that I believe is associated with earlier freeze events and cold weather that we really hadn't accounted for yet. So here's a photo with credit to Mike Parrish and Dinwiddie that has evidence of this, and also a brief video that I collected from a field in Northumberland County that I wanted to share with you. We're finding this in very isolated areas of the field, mostly around the edges and in portions of the field that would be the least well protected. So I think we had some minor injury from a previous event, but very little from this. So I hope that gives you a state of where we are, or where I believe we are with the wheat and barley crop for this year. It also, I think, should give us some more tools if this happens again in the future, although hopefully it'll be at least another 20 years before it does.